Hey guys, welcome back. Drip Coach here with Drip and Farm for property where we don't trust, we verify and operate with integrity and transparency. In today's video, we are breaking down a podcast on the Good Day Bitcoin with Sean Clark and Samson Mow. I had Samson, I didn't have him on my channel, but I've covered a couple of the videos before. And in this one, we're going to answer the questions: are we truly late to Bitcoin, or is this the biggest opportunity still ahead? And some reactions on diving into Samson Mow's bold insights onto Bitcoin price and breaking the typical Bitcoin cycles that we're familiar with. So stay tuned.
Chasing altcoins feels like throwing darts blindfolded. Every loss hurts and every win is fleeting. Stop the cycle. Bitcoin is the safest bet in crypto, and Drip2 BTC makes it even better with high-yield wallets and discounts. Buy Bitcoin, deposit, and earn while you sleep. It's time to build wealth you can count on.
So in this first clip I'm going to play, it is Samson basically expressing that, yeah, we are still extremely early, and he starts talking about the demand shock that we are going to see with Bitcoin that we haven't seen yet, and how that will lead into price increases. And it's all driven by the nation state adoption, ETFs, MicroStrategy, strategic Bitcoin reserves from other countries, and his $100,000 price move, which is coined the Omega candle. So we haven't seen an Omega candle yet. We've seen God candles, and he called a Godzilla candle, which was 13K in the opposite direction, meaning a red candle. But he gives his rationale. So I want to play that clip so that you guys can decide what you think about it.
Around them. And Samson, I agree, we are early to Bitcoin, but people are going to see Bitcoin. It's at $100,000 today while we're filming, and they're going to feel like they're late. But you've got a really interesting perspective on price action and where you think we're going. Can we dive into that a bit? What do you see coming in the future? There's so much happening in the media, both good and bad.
Yeah, so you kind of hit one of them, which is God candles, $10,000 candles on the daily chart in one day. And the next step, I think, is the Omega candle, which is a $100,000 candle on the daily. Hopefully green, possibly red.
That's a good caveat.
Yeah, we had a red Godzilla candle recently, right? It went down 13,000. So it can go both ways. But the trend, I believe, is that we're going to see Bitcoin become much more turbulent and bigger swings up and down as we go towards $1 million per coin and beyond that, because this is sort of price discovery. And I happen to lean towards the side of green candles, because the way I look at the demand and supply imbalance is just so skewed that it makes me fearful that it's just going to come all at once, and we're going to see this Omega candle just rise up nonstop for a whole day as people pile on into Bitcoin. Because you can see, even though we're up here, we're not really moving that quickly yet. And the demand from ETFs and from MicroStrategy and Michael Saylor, it just seems ridiculously skewed. There is 20x, sometimes more demand just from ETFs in a given day. And that does not seem sustainable to me. And there are some theories that OGs are selling, but I really don't think that that's necessarily the case. It could just be people moving and migrating coins to new wallets, or to multi-sig, or improving security. So I just think there is a supply shock coming, and nobody sees it coming. And one day there just won't be enough Bitcoin, and that will just trigger this recursive demand shock coupled with the supply shock that just shoots us straight up vertically.
And
Oops, I was muted. That's where I want to get you guys' take on this, because we haven't gotten to the second part where he starts talking about the cycles, but it's kind of like this demand shock, and we're not really seeing it play out as we would expect. Granted, yes, we made that 30K, 40K move, so we were hovering around 60 to 70 for the better half of this year. Last year. And now we're sitting at this 95 to 105 range. So it did make some moves, but it would seem that with all of this bullish narrative that we're hearing, Bitcoin stockpile, nation state adoptions, other nation states, I was about to say farming it, but what do you call it? Mining Bitcoin and MicroStrategy, and now ETFs saying 2% allocation and all this stuff. So it seems to be all this pent up demand, but yet we're not really seeing it in the charts, which is strange. And then, like he mentioned, there's theories that OGs are selling, but could they even really be selling that much? Like, I don't know. It's really hard to say. So I'm curious to hear what you guys' take is on that. And then we're gonna get to the second clip, which is where he is discussing the cycle, and he talks about the stock to flow and the power law. So you guys have seen me bring this up, and this kind of flies in the face of some of the other OGs I follow, like Raoul Pal and B. So I like to always have conflicting narratives, because at the end of the day, none of us know. This is unknown territory, and we have these models, and people can make amazing charts and do hours and hours of research, thousands of pages and thousands of hours of research. But at the end of the day, markets are made of human emotion, and that shit cannot be really tracked very well. You can create theories and probabilities, but I don't know. So I'm bringing this up to show just these charts, like, and how much is in here and the work that goes into this. I think power law is in here somewhere. I don't know which one it is, but stock to flow is the main one. And yeah, there it is, power law. So we gotta upgrade to get that. But we're gonna cover what Samson Mow thinks about this, and I'm curious to know what you guys think about this. So it's like, yeah, we've had these charts, and they have provided some sound advice over the years, and the question is, will they continue to be relatively sound advice going forward? Like Raoul Pal, for example, believes everything is tied to M2 and kind of this behind closed doors agreement with all of the central banks around the world to just every 4 years kick the can down the road for debt. And if that's the case, then it would follow this cycle. But let's listen to Mao real quick before I give away that secret sauce.
The whole concept of cycles is interesting. I don't really believe in cycles, and before I get into it, I just want to say, like, there has been talk of a super cycle where Bitcoin just goes up and doesn't stop. I think it'll come. There will be fluctuations, there will be volatility, but it seems like the concept of cycles is not something that is in line with Bitcoin. We've had 3 cycles, I guess, that look similar. But the first cycle, like the first 4-year period of Bitcoin, the first epoch, I think you can't really count that. That's just a early price discovery and formation of the Bitcoin price, right? It's very, very immature and very fragmented market. So you can say, like, there's been 3 coin tosses and they kind of look similar. But why would Bitcoin continue on mirroring 4-year periods ahead of it when adoption is exponential? I just don't see why that would be the case. So eventually the cycle, or what appears to be a cycle, should break to the upside. And I guess this is what Omega is about. It's just a breaking of the cycle. And I think an Omega candle would definitely break some of the models out there, like maybe stock to flow, and definitely, what's the other one?
Power law.
Power.
What are your thoughts about, like, those charts, the power law and stock to flow? Do you think they're useful in any way?
They're useful as a guidance, but I think saying that Bitcoin is going to follow this exact model is very dangerous, because Bitcoin just does its own thing. Like, it's not like people were thinking to, or there are people were being recommended to trade against the power law. Like when you get up here, sell everything, and then you buy back cheaper.
Yeah.
And I think that's quite dangerous because
I agree.
you could never buy back again cheaper, right? There is no guarantee. And I think you just have to look at.
And I think that's just a good place to cut it, because I was looking at this cycle, and I've actually had people in my chats talking about the same thing. There's still people trying to gamble their way to financial freedom. And that is, meme coins. I'm even got one out there that I'm promoting, Flapjacks, but it's a small part of the portfolio. So this idea that you're going to be able to catch the bottom of the next cycle and that Bitcoin is going to continue doing what it's always done, I don't know. I honestly have no idea. I'm on the fence because, again, I listen to these people that are smarter than me, and like stuff like Raoul Pal and Plan B, Raoul's is tied to demographics and birth rate and country GDPs and global M2s. Like, he has a lot of wisdom tied to this charts to say that it's going to follow these cycles. But at the same time, listening now to Samson, it makes me wonder. It's like, okay, if the name of the game is that every country's currency is being debased and they're all trying to find better, more sound money, so like BRICS has mentioned getting away from the dollar, even using Bitcoin as well as gold, then that just tells you that they're all looking for this flight to safety. And if that's the case and Bitcoin comes out as that king to move towards, then this idea of a super cycle, like he mentioned, exists, because there would be no more 4-year cycles, because nation states, central banks would all just be trying to stockpile Bitcoin with their collapsing fiat currency. So I don't know how that plays out, but what I do know and what I've decided is that, yeah, I'm not trying to sell out at this stage. I know there's a lot of people that are like, oh, I'm going to sell at the top and then buy back in. Nope, I'm going to take Raoul's other lesson of like, yeah, don't sell. Just continue to buy, and when there's a dip, buy even more. So just my goal at the end of this cycle is to have more Bitcoin than I started with, but not to sell it or try to sell it at the top. If I need to take lifestyle chips off, like he said, to enjoy some kind of finer things in life, then hopefully I can get that from my alts. But the goal is to definitely have more Bitcoin than I started with. Like that's the ultimate goal. And going back to this super cycle theory, and what Samson Mow is saying is that, things could shift and change. And I think we'll find out for certain. Like, there's already rumblings of it, but we will find out for certain come the inauguration. So there is this talk from there's this talk of the Cynthia Lummis bill of converting some of the U.S. gold reserves certificates into cash to buy Bitcoin. And according to her, that gold is held at the 1970s book value. Now, in the 70s, we had multiple different prices, so I don't know which one of these it is, but I did the liberty of bringing that up. So the average between 1970 and 1979 is $132. And then according to a Google search, we have 8,000 metric tons, which this is at today's value is $687 billion. But on the books, they would have less than that, according to how they're measuring it. Now, the reason I bring this up, because if they do this, there was another person I was listening to that said that this could be like a chess move for the US. So picture this. Other countries are stockpiling gold. If the US all of a sudden dumps their gold on the market, what do you think that does to the price of gold? Well, it makes the price of gold go down because there is more gold available, right? Supply and demand. So that will just crush other countries that have been using that as a store of value or trying to shore up their assets. Then they, in turn, the US, now buy Bitcoin with that. So now they have controlling share in Bitcoin, and they already currently do when you count MicroStrategy, the ETFs, and BlackRock. And I think the hash rates, the mining that is done, definitely most of it is done in the US, like over 30% in total. So crashing gold kind of puts a pin in your competition, and then buying Bitcoin moves the needle further. And then with that price appreciation from Bitcoin, if they needed to, now of course they're not supposed to sell it, but they could buy back the gold at a cheaper price. So after they tank the market, which is what classic TradFi has done, they could tank the market, buy the gold back, have gold and Bitcoin. Like, I don't know if that's a Trump business move to do or not, but the point is, it's all bullish for Bitcoin. And the point is, it brings me back to Samson Mow's theory of this super cycle. But there's one big caveat to this. The chess game that we play in the US is only on a 4-year cycle. So if the Department of Government Efficiency and Trump and the administration all get their way, there's going to be a lot of upset people for the next election. Does his legacy continue? Can we have somebody else carry the torch and keep these things going? Or does the next person come in and literally just destroy the whole thing, sell the Bitcoin, and do something else? Like, there's so many unknowns that come in after that. So I guess the TLDR is, this is an opportunity, this 4 years we got right now, make the best of it, because we have no idea what the future holds. But right now it looks extremely bullish. So the question I want to leave you guys is, do you believe in this super cycle? Do you believe in the power law or the stock to flow or anything else? Is this cycle going to be different due to nation state adoption, and or is it going to be the same? What are your thoughts? Where are we sitting at? So drop those in the comments below, because I'm curious, because I actually have no idea. And to be honest, I think all these gurus I listen to, none of them know. They're all gambling with their best effort. And of course, someone's going to be right, because they're literally on both sides of the spectrum. So somebody will have the right answer, and hopefully we make the right decisions based off of that. And I think the only right decision is to stockpile Bitcoin yourself, and do not sell it. Do not try to time the market and cheat and get, a couple extra dollars and try to buy back in, because there may not be a low that is lower than what you're getting in right now. All right, that's all I got. Smash that HBO special, help a brother out, like, subscribe, comment down below, and until next time, lift daily and achieve your impossible. See ya.
Want to pay your in real life bills with crypto? How about send crypto directly to anyone with a bank account? Spritz Finance is a decentralized solution to be your own bank and connect your crypto earnings to real world bills and payments. They do not take custody of your assets and allow support on multiple blockchains and Web3 wallets. Sign up below using my referral link and you will get $50 back when you make your first $50 bill payment with crypto. Additionally, I will be using referral bonuses to airdrop, donate, or burn based on community feedback. Sign up now.